Welcome to the BEC podcast. My name is Rasmus Beck and I have a guest from Scotland or Team GB. It depends on who we ask. Kirsty Gilmour, thank you for stopping by.
No problem.
GB or Scottish today? How do you feel?
Today it's Scotland.
Yeah.
GB comes round once in a while.
Yeah.
But for the most part it's Scotland. Yeah.
So Scottish it is. Kirsty, how is it actually to be you at the moment?
It's okay. It's a bit of a mixed bag. I'd say this year has been fine. We've had some good points, but for the most part I've just been kind of figuring some stuff out on court, and I'm looking to get back into the flow of things. It hasn't really been a very flowing year for me.
I remember one interview with you. I think we have spoken 10, 15 times already this year, so This is not our first for sure. I spoke to you on the semi-finals day at the European Games. You said to me, this is my chance. Now I have the chance to win this one, going into the final against Mia Blichfeld. You didn't. We also spoke afterwards. It was not that long an interview. Sitting here now, looking at those 2 days, what does that do to you right now?
I still think that was a really good tournament for me. I think it was a strange tournament, first of all, because we had the pool matches, and then we went to the knockout stage. So that was, how many? We had 3 in the pools, and then 4 or 3 or 4 in the knockout stages. So it was more games than normal. It was a full week, and I think I got progressively better throughout that tournament. I think each match I went on with like full focus. Even my first match against an opponent that I didn't know a whole lot about, which is normally a good sign if you can't find much about someone on YouTube. But I went in with like full focus, no complacency, and I've maybe struggled to get that level of focus in other tournaments. But I think I tend to rise to the occasion. And the European Games was definitely an occasion. I really like those environments that are like a games village, and everyone is there to perform. There's very little distractions, and I hate it's such a cliche term, but it is such a bubble. You're just living in this little high performance sport bubble, and all you have to do is get up and go to dining hall, and food will be provided for you. You go see the physio, you do your training. You do everything with just sports in mind, and I think you can only do that for 10 days, 2 weeks. You can't live your life like that. But it is an environment that I really thrive in, and that was no exception with Minsk. So yeah, I think especially on that semi-final day, I was so happy with the badminton that I managed to play. And then against Mia, she brought something different from the semi-final against Lena, but I also think I touched on my best badminton between those 2 days.
But how does it feel, Kirsty, to be, you have won medals before, you've been runner-up before, how did it feel to be that runner-up again, where you actually had, I won't see a better chance because Mia is still a good player. She also showed that at the Worlds. Karolina was not there, that's fair to say. So on paper, the chance was slightly better to get that gold medal. How did that feel not getting it?
It felt like to have the silver, it felt just like same again. But also there is like, you have to stop for a second and just be like, I have a silver European medal. Like there's such a balancing act between like, hang on a minute, this is great, but also I've been here before many times. And yeah, I'm especially this year, silver's kind of the best I've managed to achieve in European Games and a couple of other tournaments. So it's been a very silver year, I'd say. But yeah, to have that silver medal again, I never was complacent of being like, oh, Karolina's not playing, this is going to be my year, because there's some girls that can really rise to a really good level in Europe, not just Mia, Lena, Kozitskaya, and even Leanne Tan can come out strong, and there's a lot of players that could give you a little shock. So, it was hard to get that silver again. But then that's the good thing about having people around you that aren't necessarily in badminton. So my friends were like, amazing, silver medal. And I was like, do you know what? It is a little bit amazing, but I'll never not want that gold. I'm never going to settle for silver ever again, because I think I have done that in the past and just been like, oh, okay, that's quite nice. But I just know how it feels now, and I know how good it feels to just get that gold, and it's the best feeling, and I want that again.
Do you honestly believe that you can win that European title, European Games or European Championships?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm at a level now where if I can consistently reach my even 80-90% of my top level absolutely consistently, then there's it's going to make for a really interesting European Games, European Championships between, the 5 or 6 of us in Europe. I think, Carolina is a absolute world-class player, legendary player now. Already she's still playing, and she's, I think she's fair to say you could put her in the legend book. But that doesn't stop any of us thinking that we can beat her.
And you can also say an injury is not far out for all of you, so might also need to take a chance once in a while.
Yeah, definitely. But it's definitely there, and I know that we definitely all want it. It wasn't just a case of, oh, Carolina's not playing, so this is our chance. I think we all think that, regardless of who's playing.
Looking at the year also, it's also Olympic qualification year. For some people, it's one big hunt. When I look at the ranking, the hunt might not be that big for you, because you're not representing Scotland. If you were, it's actually not the big hunt either. You are representing Team GB, which including England and Wales, Northern Ireland. From how I see it, your spot is more or less safe. Is that the same way you feel?
Kind of, but I still know that there's a long way to go. We're only in October, and we've got around till April to go, and a lot can happen, and crazier things have happened in sport. So I'm very much focused on me and my results, because there are some people climbing the ranks and climbing up with the ranking points. So I am just kind of planning my tournament program how I would plan it anyway, and going to try and get myself in the best form physically and mentally, for coming out of the qualifying period and into the kind of seeding period, I guess, because we still have to continue on. It doesn't just hit April and you just like, okay, cool, I'll just chill until the Olympics. You still have to work for that seeding spot, and there's all of that to go through. So, I think right now it's quite safe, but I never know what can happen. There are some girls coming to challenge.
But representing Team GB, Great Britain, with all the talk happening right now, Scotland independence, do you want to break loose? What is Brexit? What is happening? How is it to know that you, I would say most likely, is going to represent Team GB in Tokyo, knowing that political situation aside and all these things, you're still Scottish. You said in the beginning of the interview, I'm Scottish. I'm part-time GB.
Yeah.
How is it to be that Scot on that team?
Particularly to be on that a Scot in that team with the other, well, it's mostly the English players, is great. I really like joining in with that team, and we all got on really well, to be honest. There's always that kind of, I am the only one, but every time I've been a part of that Team GB, I think we've all been like pleasantly surprised at how well we all just get on with things, and we do actually really get on. I'm not just saying that for this podcast, but yeah, I mean, it only happens. Well, if we're going to have a European Games in the middle of all the Olympic cycles, I'm only going to play it for Team GB every 2 years. But I mean, it's not hugely different from a normal tournament where we're all here anyway. And even working in with the coaches and the physios and things, we all have a really nice understanding, and it's not so separate. Even when I am Scotland and it is England or Wales or Ireland, Northern Ireland, there is that like really nice understanding. So in a political sense, yes, the country is a mess, but in our little small badminton world, we all work together really, really pretty well. I like it.
But how does your family, friends react? Because the independence talk of Scotland is no secret. It happens basically every day. And Boris Johnson in England, no deal, hard deal, soft deal, whatever. How do they react to you saying, I'm representing Team GB, as far as I know, of course, because what happens after all this, we don't know. Nobody actually does.
Yeah, I think everyone around me is quite good at separating sport from politics, and maybe it can't be separated quite so cleanly. But I think everyone around in my team are quite. There's just such a history of Team GB in sport. In the Olympics, and we're starting new history with European Games. So to be part of a Team GB and all of what that means in the history, I think there was a really cool stat that we learned before Rio that only 5,000 people have ever worn Team GB kit at Olympic Games in the history of the world. So that's really cool to be a part of such like a kind of exclusive club, I guess. So I think everyone kind of looks at it that way rather than what's going on in Westminster and Holyrood and stuff. We kind of just look at it in a purely sporting and a historical and what's to come way. Yeah.
What's the coolest, going to European Games or Olympic with Team GB or to Commonwealth Games with Scotland?
What's the coolest?
What do you like the most?
Oh, they're both so different. Because Team GB, I don't know as many people. There's not as much of a chance to kind of come together and get to know people. You're kind of turning up and being like, hi, we're now teammates, which brings its own challenges and also like opportunity to meet new people, and it's really cool. But with the Team Scotland, I cross paths with so many of the Scottish athletes in the gym and in the physio room and everything. So like I'm good friends with some of the netball girls, hockey girls, some of the boxers I see, the athletes. So in that way, it's kind of like going to a competition with people that you're already friends with. So, it's so difficult. Both present such different things.
But one big difference is, what flag do you actually wear? Is it Union Jack or is it the Scottish flag? That must be a different, I suppose.
A different feeling?
Yeah.
A little bit. A little bit. I think it kind of... in a Team Scotland, the biggest thing we'll compete in is the Commonwealth Games, where I've won 2 medals out of the 3 that I've been to, and
which is pretty good.
It's not a bad stat.
No.
I'm quite happy with that one. But a Team GB, there's world champions, Olympic champions. There's a higher profile level of athlete on those teams. We have those athletes on Team Scotland as well, but there's more sports and Olympic Games obviously as well. So it kind of allows you to fly under the radar a bit, and there's not so much media attention on me personally at an Olympic Games or a Team GB event. But with a Team Scotland thing, I'm kind of called upon to do all the media things and that kind of thing. So yeah, both very different experiences.
You're good with media, that's no secret. You also work a bit in media and educated in media, and I know that we will see you for sure the day you retire also working with media. Now you say that you can fly under the radar with the media. Would you actually like to be in the media or fly under the radar? Sitting in a podcast right now for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be an ironic answer. I quite like to be in the media, obviously as long as it's for good things, it's not for scandals. But no, I really like being involved, and I like talking about my sport. I like talking about what's going on, and not just my sport. Sometimes I'll have to try and formulate opinions on different sports after I've done my research. So no, I like to be involved in the media because I think it can be a good thing if it's done and used well. Yeah.
Is that happening often that it's not?
Depends what's been written about. There's a lot of things with political things and adverts on Facebook and things going on right now. But in sport, I think we're getting a lot better at being fairer with what we report on, and being a bit more not really honest, not really positive, because I don't think media has to be positive all the time, but I think it's getting more widespread and just a bit more fair and equal.
Fair coverage.
Yeah, fair coverage. And of course people want to read about the big things. Of course they do. But smaller things have got no chance of becoming big and having a profile if no one's writing about them. So you have to write about the kind of minority sports in order for people to recognise the names, recognise the sports. And then if you keep covering them, then people will become attached to them and emotionally involved in them. So I think we're getting better at that. And there's so many different media outlets now that you can find something that you're interested in somewhere.
Is that also basically why you say yes to, for instance, participating in a podcast like this?
Yeah, definitely. And you never know who's listening or who will find one bit interesting. I listen to a lot of podcasts, mostly more about like kind of pop culture and films and things, but a lot of people are interested in sport ones, and you piece together ideas from everywhere, and everyone's taking information from everywhere. Sometimes there's too much information, but I think in that sense you've got like a chance to say what you want to say and promote the things that you want to promote.
The question is, in Tokyo in July, August next year, spotlight under the radar for you. We don't know, I don't know. We will see. And we're not going to talk much about Tokyo because we don't know how everything's going to happen unless I know that you're looking forward to it for sure. But after Tokyo, I have a concern that we might not see you a lot after Tokyo. Should I be concerned? No?
No, I'm going to be around. I don't think Tokyo would be a good stopping point for me, unless I win it, and then maybe I could be semi-satisfied. But I'm pretty happy with what I've achieved so far in the sport, but I think I can achieve so much more if I get this right. I think it's quite typical for European players to kind of come into their own and really peak later than the Asians. I just turned 26, so I think I'm one of the older ones on the circuit, which is frightening, which is kind of scary. But I think that I'm always gaining knowledge, and my body's still holding up pretty well. So I'm gonna continue to enjoy it. And when I really start to not enjoy it, and we were just talking about how difficult all the traveling is and everything, but I still enjoy it right now. So I think I'll still be going after Tokyo. I've got no plans to stop.
I'm happy to hear that, first of all. I've been in the sport for 15 years now. I always hear badminton players talking about 4-year circles, meaning then the next circle for you will finish at Paris 2024. If you are thinking in circles, are you?
Possibly, but we have another circle, which is Commonwealth circles, so we're quite lucky. And that's actually the cycle that our funding runs in Scotland, because that is the biggest thing for Scottish funding, because it's Team GB for Olympics. So I have Tokyo 2020, and then I actually have Commonwealth Games 2022 in
Birmingham.
exotic Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Yeah, from the
Place you
Gold
know.
Coast to Birmingham.
Yeah, but it's a place you know.
It's a place I know and it's close to home.
Yeah.
So hopefully, you know, crowds would be big and interest would be high, especially because Birmingham's a bit of a mecca of badminton for the last few years. So yeah, I've got 2-year cycles. I'm lucky. I've got 2-year cycles, so nothing seems that far away. Nothing seems like 4 years is a very long time. 2 years, not so much. So yeah, I've got nice little 2-year cycles that I'm looking at. So ask me that question again in 2 years, and I'll give you an answer. I don't know what the answer will be.
No, but I think nobody does, do we?
No.
But when I look at Scottish badminton right now, Kirsty, I think it's fair to say that if you quit tomorrow, or if you quit in 2 years, you will leave behind a gap in women's singles. How do you actually feel about that?
Yeah, I think we're a small country, and I think now, yes, I do think there would be a gap if I were to stop today, tomorrow, or in a year. But I think we are investing a lot as a country in the grassroots level, and that might not seem like it would impact, you know, the top level very quickly, and it probably won't. But the more people we can get playing at this level, the more it will filter up, and the better chance we'll have of getting another, you know, world-class player. And it is a problem we've had for a few years. We had probably Susan Hughes before me, Susan Egglestaff, Imogen Bankier, but she was more mixed doubles and ladies doubles. Yeah, we do tend to have these kind of gaps in players, but I think the system that we're trying to develop now is going to produce more consistent high-level players. But I can't give you an answer on that, because it's going to be about, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years before we see the results. So yeah, we're definitely starting on fixing this little problem that we have.
Yeah, because if I see right now, I see you, I see Adam and Alex, and I see Julie, and then the Grimley brothers, of course, also coming. You have some decent good players in the young women's doubles categories as well.
Yeah.
But it seems like the player aiming for a European medal is not obvious right now, despite of you. Must also give some pressure.
Yeah. It's not something that's new to me, though. No. Again, like, I have seen it happen just because I've seen it happen before. I was 15 when I came into the national team. Susan was 25, and she was the only one that was, you know, seeded or had the aim for a European medal or Commonwealth medal. So it wasn't something I was shocked by. I was like, yeah, okay, it's going to fall to me. That's fine. We're just going to have to deal with it. But I think I've played my best badminton when I've had that specific pressure on my shoulders. Probably 4 times, both Commonwealth Games, World Championships, quarterfinal, European, 3 Europeans. So yeah, but that's not to say that I don't want other people to join me, because I would love to have to be able to share that feeling of pressure, because it's actually I really like that feeling. I like the feeling of people having high expectations and setting high standards for me, because it makes it like a team effort, because it's really hard to do all of that yourself. Yeah, because you do know what to expect from you, but someone else will set a crazy goal and you'll be like, you think you believe that I can do that? Okay, that's kind of cool. So I really like that, and I want to set these high standards for the rest of the team, and I want people to be hitting those targets. It would be so nice to have a team that was at that level. I get like quite jealous that the Danish team just, you know, they get to travel and there's 10, 12, 15 players all like training together, eyes set on the same thing. And I would love that for Scotland. So I really hope that Adam, Alex, Julie in the next year can join me on the world tour.
I just have one more question here, Kirsty. What is the big dream of yours for badminton?
Big dream of mine for badminton, to medal at all 4 major events. I've always said that was a goal. I've come pretty close to a world medal.
1 match short?
1 match short, about 6 points short, I think.
6 points short, yeah. On home soil? On
home soil, yeah. So I've checked off European medal, a few of them. Checked off a couple of Commonwealth medals. That's a major one for us. And then Worlds and Olympics are still there. And, you know, I'm hoping I've got more than 1 chance left at each of them. So, yeah, that would be a pretty cool stat to have if you've medaled at all the major events. But there's also, you know, I have kind of goals at different areas. I can say I've been top 15, but I'd like to be able to say top 12. I'd like to be able to say top 10. I'd like to be able to say top 5.
Top 1.
I'd like to be able to say top 1. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, there's all these kind of little goals that float around, but yeah, let's see how many of them I can check off by the end of the career.
Let's cross fingers for all the goals, Kirsty. Thank you very much for stopping by. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching the BEC podcast. Stay with us and we'll for sure bring you another podcast very soon.